Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers, your faithful master of ceremonies, Blue Dragon 5 here, with the grand finale of our little championship we like to call Trials of the Hyperion. And folks, this final showdown is going to live up to its namesake. Trials, that is. In the spirit of April Fools and Easter, the theme of tricks and hidden surprises has been incorporated into our little game. And tonight's roster of topics for the winning bout, for the final winner-take-all bout of it all. Of course,
the championship round.
Yes, championship round. And the topics at hand, of course, are, just give you a little sampling, would be best Pixar Easter egg, a blind round, and then the Wheel of Shorts! Short circuits, that is. So, without further delay, it's fight night, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Grab your Cadbury cream eggs on this topsy-turvy day as we head on down to the arena. In this corner, the original king of Disney loving fools, break out the school bread and the space blankets. It's Tiki!
You better unbird me right now, dragon! Unbird me!
Somebody
And in the
flies in disguise.
yeah,
Oh, I did.
and in the opposing corner, after that, the rookie contender America's rooting for, but can he go the distance? Give a warm welcome to Dinoco hopeful Mickeyfan.
You can leave him as a bird. It's a lot funnier that way.
Unbird me right now!
And of course, joining me on the bench, rounding out the tribunal, Jacob Weil and Santa Claus.
Hello, everybody.
All right. How are we doing, fellas?
Well, my
Fantastic.
computer's on the brink of destruction, but other than that...
Right.
I came in with notes, so I'm ready.
Yes, at least a man of confidence. I love it.
I'm excited to see how this turns out.
All right. So,
I'm
before
excited to see if we make it through without any technical issues.
Yes. Well, worst case, it's going to be a really glorious rehearsal round. Anyway. Okay, so before we go any further, a little history on what you're fighting for tonight, boys. Not just the title of Disney Debates champ, but a symbol of that. The Elias Belt.
Oh,
Lord.
boy.
Forged...
boy.
God.
No, it's more like that song, like, oh my.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, no.
Okay. Right.
Where's the A in?
Good. Okay, let's reset the ambiance if you'd allow me. Not just the title of Disney Debates champ, but the very symbol of that, the Elias Belt.
Oh, boy.
Forged from a totem of Walt Disney's past, an item that brought him...
I like the abusive connotations of that.
I was getting through the abusive connotations if you let me finish.
Sorry.
All right. So, forged from a totem of Walt Disney's past, an item that brought him pain and dread, but also pushed him to his limits, in turn, sparking the creative fire that built an omnipresent empire. And tonight, these trials will put you through something akin to that.
Oh, boy.
All right. Little refresher, boys. Little rules for those joining us playing the home game, but also you're always going to listen up because things are going to be a little different for the final, most challenging installment of Disney Debate you've ever played in your meager lives, my friends. All right.
I wouldn't say meager.
Okay, fine. I mean, it's just,
I know, you're being mean, Draken. Jeez.
Meager Mickey fan.
I'm saying you're going up against something Olympian here. Yeah, it
Oh,
doesn't-
God.
So I warned you last round. This
Internet
week,
show.
I told you neither of you guys are walking out of the ring on this one. Okay, lucky
All
guys
right,
going
all
home in the
right.
stretcher. All right. Okay. 3 rounds between the 2 men who worked their way through the brackets of our little tournament. The big winners, Mickeyfan and Tiki.
Woo woo.
All right, so of course we're going to play things as normal here. So you're going to reveal your pick, give your opening statement, and then it's a fight to the very finish. My associate here, R2D2, is the bell. When he does that, it's time for the tribunal to deliberate. 3 judges. Obviously, the ones who gather the judge's favor more gets the point. First to 5 points wins the game, wins the belt, wins the title. Beware the twists and turns along the way, and kiss your mommies goodbye, boys, because you're entering the big leagues. Do you understand these rules as I've explained them to you here this very fine evening?
I'm very much anticipating at least one of these rounds is going to be like, oh, guess what? You get to, like, you picked the worst, but now you're fighting for it to be the best or some such bullshit like that.
Or as I brought up once, like you win when you win, but you actually lose a point.
Oh my god.
You're giving him ideas, guys.
You both joke. I'll remind you, you both joke about this.
At least I'm not participating in this one.
Oh, you're
right.
a judge, man. You're on the
Well, you know what I mean.
bench.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Okay, anyway.
Okay, I understand the rules. Mickeyfan, do you understand the rules?
I understand the rules.
Okay. Oh boy.
All right. Cue the randomizer.
Do the randomizer.
Somehow I have a sense Jacob's going to be going, even though he's not even participating in this, given that the randomizer has a thing for Jacob. They can't turn a fire hose on the randomizer. The randomizer loves Jacob.
It's like an excitable dog, but for Jacob.
All right, randomizing in 3, 2, 1. Tiki
Right.
goes first.
He's going first. Age before beauty, kids.
I'm not that old.
No, I mean the rookie going up against the previous champ. Age before
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I know that I'm bitching all the time these days about turning 30, but 30's not that old, god damn it. Leave me alone.
Yeah, that's what you get for depressing us all with the realities of aging. Okay, so it's main event time. You boys ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so to commemorate the Easter season and Onward being on our minds,
I still
its,
haven't seen that.
well, it's on Disney Plus, so now would be the time to check it out. All right. Round numero uno. What is the best Easter egg in a Pixar film? Now, just for the folks at home, we were looking for something a little bit more referential, as in now a running tradition. Now, it's traditionally in all the Pixar films, like a Pizza Planet truck or an A113, or even a Ratzenbergs. Like we're kind of like taking those 3 off the table. So that's kind of what any little reference from a Pixar film was on the table. All right, so Tiki, what'd you go with?
I went with the very brief cameo of Sid from Toy Story 3.
Mickeyfan?
And I chose Harryhausen's from Monsters, Inc.
All right. Can we get a little ambiance here? Can we get a little banner action?
Oh, yeah, my bad. I'm just terrified that my freaking thing's going to crash at any minute. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So I do my first argument, right?
Yeah, your opening statement. Go, man.
Okay, cool. So Toy Story 3 is a movie that's all about, kind of like legacies and generations and everything, and we explore that through the toy characters. We explore that through Andy, of course. But in the background, in a cameo, in a blink and you miss it cameo, we have Sid Phillips. Sid Phillips working as a garbage man, still being as destructive as other, but taking his destruction out on garbage, on stuff that actually needs to be thrown away to begin with. And what I love about this Sid cameo is that it's so quick, you don't even really know it's him unless you pay attention to the skull shirt. And yet it adds so much dimension to the Sid character. It's a great check-in with him. And it's a reminder that, like, oh yeah, childhood bullies don't always turn out to be evil people. Sid is just kind of this fun-loving loser later in life, it seems. This fun-loving garbage man. So it's a brief cameo, but I feel like it adds a ton of dimension to the character. It's a great check-in with the original Pixar villain to see where he's been later in life. And frankly, I think that's a lot more impressive and has a lot more substance than just a name on a restaurant. So that's what I'm going with.
All right, shots fired. Mickeyfan, all you, buddy.
Okay.
Just because it's a name on a restaurant, I think, it's kind of the perfect reference for Monsters Inc. You're referencing the original movie monster maker, Ray Harryhausen, in a way that is so smart, and it makes so much sense to kind of to name this very, very fancy, hard to get into restaurant after such an important name in cinema, but specifically in special effects and in creating monsters, which Monsters Inc., of course. And it's kind of an obvious reference, but it's one that really flies over kids' heads. But parents, if they're in the know about it, they realize, oh yeah, I get that. That's a cool shout out. And I think that's a lot. I think that's a lot better. That's a much better Easter egg than a blink and you miss it cameo from that kid you barely remember from the original Toy Story.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, I'll
Barely
have things to
remember.
say about that.
All right, boys. Out for blood. Fight it out.
All right, you're opening yourself up for this. Sid Phillips is not a unmemorable villain. I mean, for God's sakes, you have Hopper, and Hopper is kind of a forgotten villain, and he's a badass. But people remember Sid, Mickeyfan. How can you say that people barely remember Sid? Sid was the stuff of kids' nightmares. And that's what I love so much about the Sid cameo, is that it humanizes Sid in the blink of an eye. It's like, oh, he's not such a bad kid. He's actually just this lovable loser with a job that really suits him. And he's just living life the best he can. With Harryhausen's, you know what my problem with Harryhausen's has always been? Is that, frankly, and I might be opening myself up for criticism here. We'll see. I know Ezra is going to be the big Harryhausen buff in the room. But frankly, when I think of Harryhausen, I think of more, like monsters and lizards and icky things and, like King Kong style monsters, like giant lizards and Jason and the Argonauts and stuff like that. When I think of the Monsters Inc. monsters, I more think of like the Tim Burton aesthetic and the German expressionism and stuff like that. I don't instantly go to Ray Harryhausen. So for that reason, I feel like it's almost kind of a little bit of a mixed bag of a reference because, yeah, Harryhausen invented monsters, but frankly, I don't really think a lot of the monsters in Monsters Inc. represent his style all that well.
Yeah, but I vehemently disagree with you here because, just like you said, there are the scaly kind of creepy monsters in Monsters Inc. You say Sid was the stuff of nightmares. I had no problem with Sid. I was more afraid of Woody, frankly.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I when I was little, I had nightmares about Waternoose chasing Sully through the halls. That's Harryhausen, in all its stop motion glory, but still, that kind of creepy stuff. Randall slinking through the halls. That's just as much Monsters Inc. as Cuddly Sully.
But that's the thing. You hit it on the head. Cuddly Sully and lovable Mike Wazowski, memeable Mike Wazowski. Those to me are like the faces of the franchise, and neither of them really have a Harryhausen quality. But to me, still, again, it comes back to like it's just a name on a building, and that's why this question was so difficult for me. And that's why I went with Sid, because I feel like Sid has substance to his cameo. Sid, it's like, I really do feel like it is an Easter egg because you can pass by it. I remember the first time I saw Toy Story 3, I didn't know that's who it was supposed to be. I just thought like, look at the funny garbage man. But then I realized like people were pointing out the fact that he had the skull shirt, and I was like, oh my god, my mind was blown. I had to go back and see Toy Story 3 again just to see Sid. So I love that it's such a small part of the movie, but it fleshes a memorable character from the original movie out so well in such a quick amount of time.
All right. So I think that, an Easter egg, doesn't need to be of substance. I think why people love them so much is because they're so blink and you miss them, and they're so trivial and unimportant that they're just fun to look for. They don't really add anything, but they increase your viewing experience on repeat views because you can hear, oh, XYZ, oh hey look, there's that XYZ I heard about. And an Easter egg doesn't need to be
Dragon, can you repeat the question? Can you repeat the question, please? The wording of the question.
Well, I believe he can read, but I'll read it just the same. What is the best Easter egg in a Pixar film?
Thank you, Dragon. You see, the keyword there, Mickeyfan, is best. Yeah, you can have a reference, you can have a blink and you miss it cameo, you can have something that's non-substantial, but with a best Easter egg, Pixar is a company that's known for Easter eggs. They're like WALL-E. Dragon, I'm going to steal a line that you gave me. WALL-E is a literal garbage pile of Easter eggs. But the important distinction here is we need one that is going to rise to the task, that is going to go above and beyond just like, look, that's a clever reference. And that's why I chose the one that I did, because I think mine does have the substance to fill it out. It's not just a blink and you miss it cameo. It is something that really gives a ton of depth to, I'm repeating myself here, but it gives a ton of depth to a lovable character.
Well, I don't find Sid lovable at all, but maybe that's just me.
A memorable character.
Oh,
a very memorable character.
But a blink and you miss it cameo from a character who appeared in the first movie. That's not really an Easter egg. That's more of a shout out or a reference.
Okay,
I
think that Sid having a cameo where he's really fleshed out, I think that's better than what they did with Randall in Monsters University, where it's like, oh look, he's there, but he's not being used as well as he could be. Like, if they tried to make Sid this bully still in the third Toy Story movie, that wouldn't have worked at all. But instead, they kind of reversed it. And I know with Randall, they pulled a reversal with him too, but it just didn't work. He didn't have any substance. And I feel like with 5 seconds of screen time, we got more out of what future Sid is up to than where the roots of Randall came from, if we're just kind of comparing franchises here.
Well, we're not comparing franchises, we're comparing Easter eggs. And, I think that, ultimately, I feel like it's very rude to Sid, frankly, to put him in this garbage man role. Like,
no, it's not. It's totally
no. Hold up, I'm not done.
All right,
it makes sense for him to be in this garbage man role, but when I think of Sid, I think of him meshing, taking all these toys, meshing them together, kind of torturing them, not realizing that they're alive.
The kid was ordering firecrackers from a catalog and stealing his mom's credit card. Okay.
Well, we don't know that we don't know that he stole the credit card. To be fair.
All right, fair enough.
That was you just added that. Let's be honest. So.
Yeah.
All right, but still, he's buying firecrackers.
Yeah, but I think that it'd feel more faithful to the character to show him grown up as being this toy maker, or I think that
he wouldn't be a toy maker. That's what I love about the garbage truck makes total sense for the character because it's something where he can let out his aggravation. It fits with his character, and frankly, what I love about the cameo is that he feels like he's having a good time doing it. It feels like it's something that actually suits him.
The future is garbage.
Yeah, but I feel like I said, it feels so rude to Sid to have him go from this very, very, very destructive, wild, kind of insane child to showing him as this washed out, do nothing garbage man when
Are you saying that the garbage people are do-nothings, Mickeyfan? Garbage people
as depicted
are a very important position in our society, Mickeyfan. How would you like it if nobody picked up your garbage? How would you like it if your garbage just piled up?
Film in his 5-second cameo where all he does is listen to music and pounds on a couple of garbage cans while he throws the garbage in the trash.
Yeah, he's content. He's got a good lot in life. He likes himself.
Yeah.
What's so bad about that?
I feel like it would be much more faithful to the character, showing him grown up and still wanting to create toys in a productive way. Not torturing.
Have time for that. This is Toy Story, not Sid's story. This is Andy's perspective. We don't like what we got with Sid here is the only thing we needed. We don't have time for a full side story of Sid being Big Al's protege or whatever.
That's not what I'm.
All right,
All right, boys.
Oh, I was
That's
about
enough.
to tear into this.
I know you were. So here's okay. So my vote, believe me, I was kind of teetering there for a while. I mean, I was really in Mickeyfan's camp, but I think Tiki kind of tripped him up in the end, and it's less about. It's not that I doubt that Mickeyfan had some in the chamber just now, but it's just Tiki had him on the ropes, and he completely distracted him from Harryhausen. So I'm giving my vote is for Tiki.
Well, I agree. My vote goes to Tiki. I think if Mickeyfan, if you stuck to your guns and really defended Harryhausen instead of trying to rip into Sid more and more and more, it wasn't very productive on your end.
Fell right into my trap.
Yeah, no.
I think they're both good references. I think some of the claims that were being made against Sid by Mickeyfan were a little off.
Just to save his public reputation, I'm sure Mickeyfan doesn't hate garbage men. Let's just
I
get
do
that out
not.
there.
They provide a very valuable
Like being a toy maker.
resource to society.
Sid is Andy's age, so it's very unlikely he's going to be in college as a professional toy maker. I don't know. I could say a lot more, but my vote goes to Tiki.
Okay, Jacob.
You could have. I mean, Harryhausen is one of the faces of monsters, so it's a huge tribute, and so you could have leaned into that. How it's not necessarily they not be Harryhausen-esque monsters, but they're but it's a tribute to one of the most famous monster makers of all time. So you could have. It's a huge tribute, basically a tribute to animation history itself in a way.
I think Tiki's allergic to praise.
Basically, it's a tribute to animation history and stop motion, like a precursor to computer animation. But Tiki did make the stronger argument in this case, so my vote goes to him too.
Yeah, well said, Jacob. Yeah,
All right, so Tiki crossed the board. What do you know? So first point, Tiki.
Monkeys in the comments said, "Rip into Sid" sounds like a slasher short that would be a DVD bonus feature.
God.
Who's playing now?
The extended cut of that scene from the first movie.
That's the true Black Friday ending.
You know, it's funny that originally the scene when the toys came to life was actually more extended and horrifying. Buzz came to life too, and all the rest. There was an extended conversation. Buzz wanted to hurt Sid, and Woody had to hold him back. It was a whole thing. Anyway,
Yeah, I think that was wise that they trimmed that.
Yeah, again, I think they just got it just right at the end of the day. It's just like, so play nice. That's all you really need to see. Otherwise, it gets.
nice.
Otherwise, he'd be in a padded cell for the rest of his life. Otherwise, I mean, let's be honest. Okay, all right, that brings us to round 2, the big mystery round here, folks. The big blind fight is, and these guys. The only thing that these guys have gone into it with is that it's a pitch. So, first prize of the night, blind round, a blind pitch inspired by the new game show Sweeping the Nation. Disney movies, The Ride.
Oh boy.
It's all about pitches. Okay, so now I'm going to reveal what the blind topic is, that these two yahoos have no idea what it's going to be. All right, pitch a Disney attraction based on an animated Disney series. Now, again, if you want to, it can be based on. It can be either an original, like pure, like the original Disney series. Again, it has to be animated. If you want to do something that's kind of based on a property of a film, you can, but it must be tailored towards the series. Like you can't just do the movie. You have to specifically be the series if it's based on the movie.
No problem.
Okay.
I'm gonna
And we're talking TV series, right?
Yes, like a Disney animated Disney series. Yes.
I'm gonna go Gravity Falls.
Shocker.
Well, excuse me, princess.
No, nothing against it. I'm just saying, hey, Gravity Falls. He's leaning into his niche.
Does it have to be in a specific location, Dragon?
If you want it to be, you don't necessarily have to.
You
If
don't
you want to
have
argue specificity, by all means.
Okay.
Phineas and Ferb.
All right, I'm all for that one.
I'm surprised you don't pick DuckTales.
Claude is throwing out DuckTales and Star Versus. Both of them would be good. Oh god, and Amphibia and the Owl House. Yeah, Claude. This is a question that's up Claude's alley.
Yeah.
For Star Versus, you had to at least do like the first 2 seasons.
Gummy Bears, says Monkey.
I might have gone Kim Possible, honestly.
Claude,
I was
honestly,
thinking about Impossible.
if I was going the realistic route, I'd probably just say, like, hey, do something like Runaway Railway, but for DuckTales. But you know what? I want to do something a little bit more outlandish. So, all right. Dragon, we're not being timed on these pitches or anything.
No. Just give me the pitch, and then basically when you fight out, you argue that why yours is better than the other guys. So just lay out your pitches with your opening statements, guys. That's what I want.
Okay. So Gravity Falls. This is arguably the best animated series of all time in terms of just sheer quality, episode to episode. It's 40 episodes. It's 40 episodes long, and each episode is a banger. And the story was like exactly the length it should have been. It's a masterpiece of a show. It ended exactly where it needed to. And of course, the great thing with Gravity Falls is that you've just got a ton of environments, a ton of monsters, a ton of creatures, a ton of mysteries. There's so much that you can explore with Gravity Falls. Now, I don't want to get into a ton of detail because obviously, this is a blind pitch, so I didn't really have a ton of time to think up these specifics. But basically, with Gravity Falls, what you would do is you'd enter through the Mystery Shack. The Mystery Shack would, of course, be the exterior. And you'd kind of like, maybe there'd be an overflow queue where you wind around the Mystery Shack, maybe see Seuss and, maybe see some gnomes and stuff like that in the overflow queue. And then you go into the Mystery Shack, you see some of Grunkle Stan's, fake mystery exhibits, and it kind of sets the tone for like, oh, this is going to be like a really cheesy fake ride. But then you go down into the bunker behind the soda machine. Anyone who knows Gravity Falls knows what that means. And you go down into the bunker, and you board golf carts. Dipper and Mabel are enlisting you to stop Bill Cipher, who has invaded Gravity Falls. It's going to be a very non-canon ride in terms of you don't really have to know the story of the movie or the story of the TV show to know the story of the ride. Essentially, the TV show doesn't matter because Bill Cipher is kind of an endgame villain, but it's kind of like Star Tours. You know what I mean? It's like Bill Cipher is essentially why is there another Death Star? It doesn't matter because he's a key figure of the show. Anyways, so we board our golf course. Our golf courts. Our golf carts are going to be enhanced motion vehicles, much like Indiana Jones, so they can buck and pitch and brake and kind of like swerve up and down and stuff like that. And the pitch of the ride is just kind of going through Weird Mageddon. You're going through Weird Mageddon. You're seeing all these crazy things happening to Gravity Falls. It's going to be a great mix of physical set pieces and projection effects, a la Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Definitely it's going to have more emphasis on animatronics and physical effects than Mickey and Minnie does, but it would still have some transitions a la Runaway Railway. Yeah, that's my basic pitch.
Hey, Tiki, give us a banner, would you?
Yeah, right.
Something about this seems very familiar. Did you pitch this before?
I could have in a speed round or something. I don't know.
This sounds incredibly familiar.
Believe me, Sam, if he told you this, it wasn't on the debates. At least not one that I was on.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. So my pitch for a Phineas and Ferb attraction is, I think it's very simple. I think, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway style. You have the boys trying to make the best ride ever. Candace trying to bust them the entire time in a subplot. Very, very simple subplot of, Mom, Phineas and Ferb are making the best ride ever. Have some Perry the Platypus and Doofenshmirtz cameos in the background, where they kind of nudge you into into the next scene in some way or form. Having this kind of it fits into the format of the show. The show itself and its world is so fleshed out that you can basically have a million cameos of characters that I think almost everyone loves in some way, and just going with Phineas and Ferb on their best ride ever, where through an episode of the show that's entirely original and could be completely canon to the actual show.
All right. I'm sorry. Before we go any further, before we fight out, I'm getting some background noise. Can someone please stop opening, their snacks and/or?
Sorry, that's me.
Okay, thank you, Mickeyfan. Okay.
You thought it was me with my snacks.
All right.
Fight it up, boys.
Well, I must admit that both of these setups are good, but I just think Gravity Falls, the lore of Gravity Falls, the fact that the key to Gravity Falls is kind of like solving the clues and solving the riddles, that I just picture something like Indiana Jones where you're in the line and you're trying to decipher all these different messages and coded messages and having that be a part of the app and stuff like that. I mean, they could really go out of their way where if you want to be a code cracker in this Gravity Falls experience, you really can be. But if you want to just kind of like experience the ride passively, you also can. It's going to be one of those interactive experiences where there can be different levels of interactivity depending on how much you care about the interactivity. With Phineas and Ferb, I'm not going to make any bones about it. That was a good setup. But the thing with Phineas and Ferb is that it's basically just a bunch of eccentric people in an eccentric city. Whereas Gravity Falls is just like monsters and creatures and tons of fantastical elements. And I feel like the possibilities with Gravity Falls are endless. Phineas and Ferb has a lot of possibility to it, but I feel like the possibility has to kind of begin and end somewhere. Because with Gravity Falls, I mean, you could do anything. You could go into alternate dimensions. You can you can see all kinds of different monsters and creatures. I feel like the setting of Gravity Falls is just a lot more memorable than the setting of Phineas and Ferb.
Really?
I would say so. I would say because of the Oregon kind of tourist trap vibe. Like Gravity, like when I think Phineas and Ferb, I just think it's kind of like a suburb, It's a cool suburb, but it's just kind of a suburb.
I think that's what makes Phineas and Ferb's setting so great, though. It's just a suburb, but it's a suburb where where two kids basically decide to do anything, and I think that's where I think that's where the concept really shines. Is is Phineas and Ferb somewhat grounded, but the just what they do is anything can happen as long as it's fun and they can think of it. I think you're proposing something super plot based, and while I'm proposing more of this experience of you're going into this town that seems normal, but then you're experiencing this wild, insane ride that two young kids came up with. Like that's just kind of an awesome concept for an attraction in general, but adding to that just how well developed and lovable all the characters in Danville are. I think that it would just be such a fun ride and such a fun world to kind of discover. Whereas Gravity Falls, you're kind of just going through the events of the finale from what you're saying.
No, I'm saying you could take just the best of everything. It doesn't necessarily have to be the finale. I mean, I did say Weird Mageddon, sure, but I mean, Weird Mageddon is just, there's so much involved there, and it doesn't have to just be Weird Mageddon. And I don't know, man. I just think, like, you say that mine's too plot heavy, but the thing of it is, it doesn't have to rely on a plot. All you need to know is that there's this janky, it's kind of like the Men in Black experience, if you've ever been to the Universal Studios ride there, where it starts out and it's like, oh boy, what is this going to be? Some sort of janky little World's Fair thing. And then the doors open up, much like the doors open up on Men in Black. The doors open up to the bunker in Gravity Falls, and you're just like, whoa, what is this? Where are we? Oh my God, this is cool. So for people who know what Gravity Falls is, they're going to expect the bunker, and the bunker is going to be basically kind of like, for a Gravity Falls fan, it might be their equivalent to being on the Star Destroyer deck. But for someone who's totally unaware of what Gravity Falls is, it's going to be a great surprise reveal, because you're going through this really tacky tourist trap set up in the middle of the forest, and then suddenly there's all kinds of different possibilities going on. And I just think the magic of that is just a lot more than just like, oh, childhood imagination and clever characters. I just think Phineas and Ferb is a show that, like, really, when I think of rides, I think of atmosphere. I think of set pieces. And Phineas and Ferb could have decent set pieces, but Gravity Falls is built on set pieces. Phineas and Ferb is built on characters, and it could maybe make a good simulator. But if you're going to do a simulator ride, I feel like it'd be way too similar to the Simpsons ride, where the Simpsons ride is essentially like a handmade roller coaster as well. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of I just feel like with Gravity Falls is just way more theatrical, way more gothic. I feel like it justified the big budget more than Phineas and Ferb would, because Gravity Falls, like, Phineas and Ferb is popular, but Gravity Falls has the clout behind it. Whereas it's debatable that Phineas and Ferb maybe went on for a season or two too long. Gravity Falls, like I said, ended exactly where it needed to. It's a perfect story from beginning to end. Yeah, that's basically it.
I have to disagree with you on Gravity Falls clout. I think it has a lot of love in nerd cultures, but in the general populace, it really didn't get a whole bunch of love. Phineas,
I feel like it's a show that's going to age like fine wine. I feel like it's a show where
and Phineas and Ferb isn't?
I feel like I said, I feel like Phineas and Ferb. It's like when people think Phineas and Ferb, they think like, oh, Perry the Platypus. And I feel like if anything, Phineas and Ferb got a little too overly saturated. Whereas that's the beauty of Gravity Falls is that it didn't get overly saturated. Instead, it just exists as this perfect product from beginning to end, and one of the most perfect narratives of any television show, not just animation.
Oh, and you mentioned that Gravity Falls is built on set pieces. Phineas and
Hell
Ferb is
yeah.
all set pieces. What do you think all of
Set
those
pieces.
wacky inventions that the boys did were? What did you think that every single Inator was? What did you think that every single musical number was? Those were all set pieces, and they were, for the most part, all brilliant. And what they did with them was all brilliant. And how they frequently changed up the formula so things didn't get stale. Brilliant. I think that just as story heavy as Gravity Falls is, and don't get me wrong, it's an amazing show. I think Phineas and Ferb is just as brilliant, but it has so much more potential as a ride because the formula is there, but you can do almost anything with that formula.
I don't know, man. Okay, good.
All right, Jacob, what's your ruling?
My ruling is for Tiki. I mean, not for Tiki, but Mickeyfan.
Ah,
I think Mickeyfan actually brought the strongest argument, how it would translate further to a ride, how it actually fits the actual role of the series better. I think he actually brought more to the table as an overall argument. Is that he actually Tiki's was basically was Gravity Falls is great, therefore it deserves to be a ride.
all right. My ruling. I gotta tell you, I was really leaning in the Tiki camp, but Mickeyfan really he kind of dialed up the passion towards the end there, and I'm kind of hearing what Jacob's saying here, and that Tiki was very impressive, and he was hitting everything I was looking for there, with the Men in Black of it all. But then again, he kind of opened really strong, like the series is so great, the series is the second coming, and everything. Which I don't know. I mean, I think Jacob kind of has a point there, and he was really good. And I'm really impressed by the second one Mickeyfan had. So I'm going to rule in favor of Mickeyfan. Sandy.
Well, just for the record, Gravity Falls has never impressed me.
Fair enough.
I don't think this is looking good for Tiki, but go on.
I don't know why. It just never impressed me.
Subjectivity.
Mickeyfan.
It's a different show, Tiki.
All right.
All right, so Mickeyfan across the board then. Wow, another across the board ruling. All right, so it's tied so far. Let's see if we can break that tie with round 3.
Wait, Dragon, have we been doing the secret coins?
I meant to mention this, but you know what? Here's why I didn't feel compelled to mention it. Boys, we're taking the training wheels off. No coin.
What?
No
Coin.
No!
No coin.
That's
You're in the
such
big
a
leagues.
bummer.
You're in the big leagues. No coin.
All right.
We're in economic
right.
trouble, but we have to donate our fundage to help the world right now. Okay, no coin.
The coin is such a signature of Disney to
Where do you think the
Pro.
gold for the belt came from?
Oh my god. All right.
Anyway.
fine.
Point being, you guys are big boys. You only need the coin for this one. This separates the men from the boys. All right, so moving on to round 3, which is the Wheel of Shorts.
Or Wheel of Circuits.
Well, short circuits, yes. But anyway, yes. Okay, so what we've done here, folks, is. By the way, Jacob, I was going to kind of have a little reveal to you. You can get rid of the coin too, and we don't do the coin at all. So if you wanted to ease up all the kind of the stuff you have laid out. Anyway, it's a Wheel of Shorts. So what we've done here, folks, again, another kind of inspiration from the new game show sweeping the nation, Disney movies, The Ride. We have all the Disney short circuits that you can find on Disney Plus. Really good. We do a whole little thing on it for the show we do, Plus and Us, which is going to kind of a mini hiatus given all the production holes that we've faced of late.
We might have to pick it up for that prop show, though.
Yeah, we probably will.
That prop show has a lot of promise.
I am so excited for that show.
Yeah. It looks like it could be like, I don't want to say it's on the level of Imagineering story, but at least in terms of like behind the scenes access, it could be.
It looks like it's in that sort of wheelhouse.
Speaking
All
of wheelhouse, so what we've done here, folks, is we put all 14, I believe it's all 14 shorts. Now you can watch all 14. Before it wasn't the case on Disney Plus, but now they're all there. So you both have had the opportunity to watch all 14 Disney short circuits from the short circuits program. They're on a list. Both players basically will give the old wheel a spin and argue whatever they get as the superior short.
All right, Jacob, would you like to reveal the wheel?
And reveal the wheel.
Reveal the wheel.
Oh boy.
Right, let's see what Tiki's going to get.
Oh, I'm nervous because I really like some of these, and some of these I could take or
There are at
leave.
least two whammies here.
All right. It's Tiki's selection in 3, 2, 1. Puddles.
All right, Tiki's got puddles.
Okay, remind me what one that is.
Oh, no. We're not going to remind you. You did the research.
Oh God, that's.
It's the first.
Oh, I know
one.
what that. I know what one.
There
that is.
you
Okay.
go.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
You're going to be stuck with it anyway, so I hope you're
Okay.
cool with it. Okay, Mickeyfan.
All right. Mickeyfan selection in 3, 2, 1.
Obviously, if it comes up puddles again, we're going to need the spin again. I should mention that.
Whoops.
Speak of the
Yeah,
devil.
so, yeah.
Should I just remove puddles?
If we can, real quick, sure.
Sorry about that.
Okay, now the actual spin. That was the warm-up. We need to keep our hands all limber and stuff here. Okay.
Sorry about that, guys.
It's all good.
And Mickeyfan's pick, take 2 in 3, 2, spin.
I have such an urge to watch Animaniacs now.
Lucky to pay.
Okay.
By an
you did.
inch. Lucky to pay.
Okay.
Can I just close this?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
All right. So, puddles. Puddles, I feel like, is an excellent metaphor. Of course, there's a lot going on there. It's about a boy and his sister. The boy still has a childlike imagination. The sister is glued to her smartphone. It's kind of controlling her life in a way. And Puddles is just a very simple short about, like, the boy finding this magic puddle as a metaphor for, like, embracing childhood and embracing imagination. And he tries to get his sister's attention, but she won't budge until he finally just pulls her in. And what I love about Puzzles is that it's short, it's simple, and I feel like, unlike the Toupee short, it says all it needs to say in the runtime, and it really wraps up very well. And like, I feel like the Toupee short, we'll get into it, but I feel like there's a lot more on the table that could be done with that concept. Whereas with Puddles, it exists as a 2-minute short, and that's what it should be. That's all it needs to be. It's wrapped up very well. It's very self-contained. It's emotional, and I feel like it has a really good message. It probably has one of the best messages of any of the short circuits with the get your face out of technology of it all. So yeah, I'm gonna go with I've gone with it. Obviously, I had to pick it, but yeah, that's my argument. That's my opening argument.
All right. So I really liked Lucky Toupee more than I actually expected to, honestly. We love us some urban fantasy. But in the introduction, the director was talking about how small characters were normally cute and marketable, and she said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to make these leprechauns tough 20s style gangsters. And I thought that was just the most absolute brilliant move she could have made in telling this really quick snapshot of a story set in this snapshot of a world that I honestly want to see more of, that I would like to see expanded into a film. almost all of them I wanted to see expanded into film. Fair enough. But just this awesome retro urban fantasy where leprechauns are stealing people's hair and making wigs out of them, and this obviously 20s style that I adore, and just this world that pops out, and it pops out in such a short amount of time, and it does leave you wanting more, but but the little story it tells, just that little snapshot in time, is just such a brilliant story, and with a pretty great twist at the end, if I'm going to be honest.
All right, boys, try to kill each other with Disney magic.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do think that with Lucky Toupee, it really should be a feature film. That's my main problem with it. The concept is strong enough for it to be a film, and honestly, it's one of the short subjects, and I don't get enough with it. I don't get enough. I want more. Like, either focus more on the leprechauns or focus more on the love story. As it stands now, I feel like the love story is a little bit half-baked, except for the clever twist, and then the leprechauns, they're a lot of fun, but you don't get a lot of time with them. You don't, they're kind of like blink and you miss it in a way. It's a very quick short, and I feel like it's one of those shorts that maybe could have benefited from adding another minute or two to it, just because it is a good concept, and I feel like the twist at the end, yeah, it's a fun little, oh, gotcha, look, she got her hair robbed too, hardy har. It's good. I don't think it's nearly as good as the ending of Puddles, where the ending of Puddles is the girl taking her face out of the phone, realizing the magic of this puddle, realizing the magic of childhood. I mean, that is some just absolutely poetic imagery and symbolism right there for Puddles. Like, don't discount Puddles. I feel like Lucky Toupee is going to be a fan favorite just because of the character design, and that's fair. The character design is absolutely on point for Lucky Toupee, and stylistically, it's great, sure. But I truly do feel like Puddles is the more emotional, the more moving, the more it's got the more substance. I truly feel like in almost every way, outside of maybe the fact that the characters are less marketable, that Puddles really is the superior product.
I thought Puddles was fine. Let me tell you my two problems with it. One, I despise every single kiss these days with their noses in their phones, not even paying attention to the world. Yeah, I just,
that's subjective, man. That's not on the short. That's on you.
Well, fair enough, but that's just something I absolutely despise, and I can't like
so
that.
Basically, what you're saying, Mickeyfan, is okay, boomer.
Yes, I actually am. I am saying okay, boomer.
I don't think that's a valid criticism at all.
Well,
just
hold up. And,
okay.
If they do something clever with it, I don't mind it. And there was one moment that I actually did find very clever when they went into the puddle, and her phone was floating in the air, and the fish came by and ate the phone. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a much better ending than the ending to.
But let me tell you. Other than that moment, I thought that it was. I've seen this argument made before. Let me tell you my other problem with it. Skylar!
Wait, what?
What? What the hell?
Are you yelling Skylar?
That little kid just screaming,
are you okay?
Skylar over and over and over again. Oh my God. It just absolutely grated on me. Like, I just could not enjoy that short because of those two things. And for as cool a concept as it is, I love the magical realism angle of the world in the puddles. I love all of that, but just those two elements completely ruined it for me. Whereas I was on board from minute one of Lucky Toupee.
All right, you see, I feel like all your issues are literally subjective, where I can give objective reasons why Lucky Toupee is a good concept, but it just doesn't work as good as it should.
Tiki, let me tell you something. All art is subjective.
Well, yeah, that's true, Mickeyfan. You're right about that, but but I'm just saying your issues are very subjective. Like, you are an okay boomer response. Like, and I feel like, yeah, sure, the whole like kids these days and technology, it's played out, no doubt. It's about the takes and it runs with it and it creates something beautiful out of it. And honestly, this is probably the best kids' cell phones art that I've ever seen. It's the definitive kids these days with their cell phones, I think. So yeah, if it's a cliche, at least it's in like the cream of the crop in terms of the actual cliches. And like I said, I just feel like with Lucky Toupee, it's a great concept. It's obviously going to be a fan favorite because of those designs. Those designs are killer. But take away those designs and you kind of just have a fight scene and a clever twist at the end. I mean, there's not a ton there. I feel like with what the short subjects or the short circuits we're trying to do, we're really to make shorts that would make you think and make you because at least if the short subjects are supposed to be the Disney equivalent to the Spark shorts, and the Spark shorts are certainly meant to make you think. So I absolutely think that while Lucky Toupee is a good time, Puddles is thought provoking.
I have to disagree with you there, because I think, one, you're wrong in that if you took away the character designs, you wouldn't be left with much in Lucky Toupee. I disagree with you. You're left with a peek into a really interesting world. You're left with this really fun and different aesthetic that we don't usually get to see.
The fun and different aesthetic that doesn't include the character designs.
A world where magic and reality interact, set in the 1920s. That on its own is fun and unique enough.
All right, fair enough.
And I think that Lucky Toupee has the benefit of being able to tell its story without dialogue, and being able to tell it through music alone and through its animation, whereas Puddles is kind of reliant on its dialogue and its incessant repetition of Skylar's name with that kid trying to get his sister's
Okay, I
attention.
think you're too hung up on that, too.
I kind of am.
Yeah, I've heard enough. We're all good guys. Okay.
Okay.
Sandy.
I was pretty confused throughout all of this because I have never seen either of these shorts, so I think it's best if I just leave it up between you and Jacob, just so everything's kept fair.
I guess we had the better argument though.
They both made pretty convincing arguments. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it between you guys, okay?
Fine, okay, we're gonna use the coin for Sandy's then.
Okay.
All right, now should we do this? Let's save the coin for last then.
All right, fine.
If
Okay,
you need it.
For
let's see if we even need it. Okay, let's see if Jacob and I are on the same page here. Jacob, what's your vote in all of this?
Well, my thought is, like, if I had to choose one, I'd actually go with just a thought myself.
I know, me too. Yeah, it's one I would have. Well, again, if we could have picked, but that's the whole point. You can't pick. It's a
I would have gone with the race.
Yeah, fair enough.
I could have torn down the race. But anyway.
Anyway, they both have very interesting arguments. I think they both got a bit repetitive in some places. But I think I'm leaning towards Sig in this one because I think his arguments overall were stronger. I think that's where I'm voting for. We're voting for
I'm sorry, one more time. Who?
Tiki.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, you're going with Tiki. So am I, which means Tiki gets the point. No need for the coin because Sandy is just leaving up to fate. Okay.
You can tell.
So- Luckily, it wasn't needed this round, I guess. All right, so it is Tiki with 2 points, Mickeyfan with 1, which means we're going to the speed round.
Woo!
All right, now we enter the speed round. Standard 30-second, 30-second statement, 15-second rebuttal. So that's going to be the same, but this is where things get complicated. The quote Rango. This is where
Wait, should I get rid of the coin?
Yeah, and get rid of the coin. We don't need the coin. So, yeah, just ditch it.
All right.
Okay, so boys, you listen. This is important. So, of course, the audience, by all means, audience members, Claudia, I'm talking to you, or anyone else, Monkey, Claude, anyone else. Craft some questions and we'll use them, and you guys can even vote for the winner. So, like, one question has to be up to the audience, and again, along the way, if you guys have any leanings, by all means, shout them out. They'll be considered and/or decide the round. So, there's that little thing to kind of put forward. So, toss some questions and they'll be used. And here's the new device.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
There's a new function in lieu of the coin. Throughout the speed round, you guys, it's called the trade function. Now, each of you once have the option, again, purely optional, you don't have to do this, but you both have the opportunity to give your opponent a point, one of your points, but in exchange, you get to pick their answer.
What?
Again, fully optional and can only be used once per opponent. As in, let's say there's a question, and there's a question, and before we get into the round, you say, okay, I want to give my opponent my point, and I want him to use this as his answer. Two said questions. Once the question is said, then basically you can opt to use your point, or you trade your point, essentially.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, so again, you both can only use it once when we get into the speed round. At any point, just once we know what the question is, you guys can opt to use that. Okay.
Just make sure to try to give it to somebody with 4 points.
All right. Okay. With that, we're gonna get into the speed round. You boys ready? I gotta warn you. This is the most challenging segment of this is what is gonna earn one of you the belt.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Remember, first to 5 points wins. Okay. Which Disney, a little Easter themed question to start things off. A little soft one at first, and we're going to get progressively harder as they go on. So,
soft boiled.
Yes, nice. Yes. Okay, so which Disney character should replace the chocolate bunny?
Oh.
As in a chocolate coated Disney character in lieu of the chocolate bunny.
Okay.
That is bizarre.
Donald Duck.
All right, Tiki's got Donnie boy.
Can it still be a bunny?
I mean, if you can think of it, sure. I mean, if it's a Disney bunny.
Thumper.
Okay. Mickeyfan's got Thumper. Whenever you're ready, Tiki.
So that's a very boring answer, Mickeyfan. Donald Duck, I think, would be amazing because of the beak, especially. What I love about eating chocolate rabbits, and I'm going to get very specific here, so I apologize. I love the hollowness of it. And so just biting into the hollow beak of Donald Duck just sounds amazing. And then just, I don't know why. It just sounds like it'd be just very, just the texture and everything would just be very pleasing. All right. Yeah, hollow Donald Duck beak. That's all I got, really.
Hang on. So, I think that the reason everyone loves chocolate bunnies is everyone eats them in a different way. And I personally, I always start with the ears. And I can't imagine something more delightful than chomping into Thumper's ears just because of the way that they look and the way that I imagine them fitting into a chocolate bunny.
You are a sick person, sir. Thumper is an adorable character. Donald Duck deserves to have his beak bitten off, all right? And the beak would be the ears. That's my point. The beak would be the cool thing that you would start with. The beak would be the transition. Embrace the beak.
Your moments. Give me a second. All right. How dare you, sir? Donald Duck is a classic character known for his verbose comedy. You want to bite his beak off? How dare you, sir?
Oh, God.
All right.
That was a weird one.
See that did not go at all how I expected. If I'm being frank, that's Sandy. Do you have any leanings in this one?
Yeah, I do. Right from the beginning, I thought they were both. Well, I thought Donald Duck was an interesting choice. I couldn't think of any Disney bunny, so it was kind of like, oh yeah, Thumper makes sense, I guess, because he's a bunny.
Technically, you could have gone with Rabbit.
No, I was thinking of Oswald, honestly. That was my go-to. What I was thinking of. But...
Well, I don't think Thumper was a very creative choice. There's a plethora of really unique Disney characters with unique designs that could have been utilized for this particular situation. And when Tiki said biting into the hollow beak of Donald Duck, that kind of piqued my interest, because I know that kind of unusual, just kind of bliss of biting into a chocolate like that, hollow chocolate, especially when it's themed like that. I'm gonna go with Tiki. I just think his was a little more creative, and he brought a really unique perspective to it.
I'm just gonna go with what Sandy said. So let's just give Tiki the point on that one.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, Mickeyfan, we need to turn hollow duck beaks into a WW Magic running joke.
Yes! Yes!
All right, okay, so
Hollow
just a
duck
reminder,
beaks.
Tiki has 3 points right now. Mickeyfan has 1. If Mickeyfan doesn't get on the board soon, it might be curtains for him.
Dragon,
this is not going the way I expected.
I see one in the comments, one question in the comments I really like.
Is it the most recent? Because I really like that one too.
No, that one's good, but I was thinking more of the Disney show. Which Disney show should get their own Broadway musical?
It's not up to you, Jacob. What do you think of these questions?
All right, let me look. I've been focusing on the timer.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna pick. Let me throw one to Claudie's way here, but a different one. Okay. Who should voice Huey, Dewey, and Louie's father in DuckTales?
Okay. Man.
No.
Peter Capaldi.
Who?
Okay. Peter Capaldi, the Doctor Who guy.
Oh God. Okay, I don't know who that is.
And he was Rabbit in Christopher Robin.
Okay. I don't know. I'm kind of struggling with this, honestly.
All right, tell you what. You know what, guys? Because here's the thing. I did not realize that Claude put basically the same question with kind of a very different delineating factor. I meant to say this one, so we're going to just keep you guessing a little bit here. Okay, what should the name of Huey, Dewey, and Louie's father be? Let's go with that one.
No. We'll go with the cast question. I'm fine with the cast question. I just need to figure it out. You know what? I'm gonna go with my boy Ryan Gosling.
Again with okay, Gosling it is. All right.
My boy Ryan Gosling.
All right. I go first, right?
Yes, you
Yeah.
go first, Mickeyfan.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
So obviously we know David Tennant voices Scrooge McDuck. Doctor versus Doctor as ducks. It would be brilliant. And I think that having someone who is very similar to Scrooge as Stella's husband would be kind of an interesting dynamic. Having Scrooge realize, oh, I really affected her that much, but also having Doctor versus Doctor.
Or Ductor.
Doctor, yes.
Well, first of all, Gosling has a beloved duck character.
Wait. Okay, I had missed the button. Sorry.
Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Gosling practically has the name of a beloved Disney duck character right in his name already, so points for that. I just think what I love about Gosling is that he's a cool guy. He's a smooth talker, but he's not afraid to be vulnerable. He's not afraid to be nervous. He can act like kind of a social spaz in movies like Lars and the Real Girl. So I feel like with all that, he can kind of accompany all the qualities of all three of the nephews into one really good character.
Peter Capaldi can do all that while also still having a Scottish accent. So I think that he would just be the superior choice. And I think it'd be brilliant to put two very beloved Doctor actors up against each other.
I mean, frankly, I think you're leaning too hard on this Doctor Who thing, man. Jacob, you ready? Come on, man.
Yes, sorry. My mouse is finicky.
All right, you're leaning too hard on this Doctor Who thing, man. I mean, it's not the end-all, be-all. I think I'm giving you legitimate reasons why I think my actor would be cast and why I think he'd do a good job, and you're just like, Doctor Who would be cool from a fan perspective.
Okay, well, Claude, listen, it's up to you, buddy. You got a rule on this one. While we're waiting on that, I'm going to plug on Geekvolution, kind of our podcasting idol, if you will, Geekvolution.
One of them.
You're right, one of them. I'm just couldn't quite come up with how we're going to quantify Captain Logan here. The point being, Captain Logan, who runs Geekvolution, he's quite the author, and of course, he's written a book recently that has now been kind of made into an audiobook that is kind of available for the month of April. It is the Edible States of America. It's really good, folks. Tiki and I, we list. Well, Tiki's still reading through, but he will. And by the time that he's in the process of it, I'm on the reread right now. The point being, we'll be covering it. It's going to be quite the affair. I mean, by all means, join us live for that, and it'll be a blast. But still, just read it for your own enrichment, folks. So we're all in lockdown right now. We might as well just kind of entertain ourselves with some kind of apocalyptic food tales, if you will.
All right.
Not seeing much from Claudia here. Again, Claude, who are you leaning towards in this fight here? Are you going with Mr. Capaldi or Mr. Gosling?
Well, you guys should probably. Ryan Gosling. All
Gosling.
Right.
Okay.
Claudia suck.
Hey, don't talk bad about my boy Claude. He might not be as good as my boy Gosling, but he's still my boy.
Are you proud of your boy?
Oh God, let's not even start with that.
Okay, I got two really tough questions. I'm just deciding which one to lean to because I want to make sure we get it in there. Okay.
Because right now it's 4-1.
Yeah, it's 4-1.
4-1, yeah.
This is not going how I expected it to.
Oh, it isn't. All right, okay, let's see. So
well, now you can't give him any points because he would automatically win.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yep. What if Tiki wanted to just kind of get his... anyway. Okay. All right, let's see. I have a fighting question, and I have a next level question. What are you, Jacob saying?
Next level.
Oh, you want the next level? Okay.
Yeah, I want the next level.
All right, next level.
Next level.
All right. Which two Star Wars characters should be paired up and stranded in a desert?
God. Jar Jar Binks and Emperor Palpatine.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Just
Darth Vader and Leia.
Oh God.
Oh
Right.
boy.
Vader
Alright.
and Leia. Oh, and guys, there's one thing I forgot to
Oh
mention.
no.
This is a trick question, so you're going to have to swap your pairs.
Oh, fuck
Oh
me.
come on.
I warned you, next level.
You wanted the next level.
The other one was going to be straightforward, but you went with the...
All right, fine. All
Okay,
right.
which means Tiki's going to be going first, arguing Vader and Leia as his pair, and then Mickeyfan will go with Jar Jar and Palpatine.
Okay. You ready, Jacob? You ready with the timer?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So you know which two human beings in the galaxy need family time to talk shit out more than any other two human beings? It's Vader and Leia. Like Luke got his closure with Vader, but Leia didn't even have closure. For all Leia knows, Vader's still just a murderous dictator. Vader and Leia need to have that heart to heart, and they need to have that heart to heart in the desert.
That was actually pretty much cut and dry going to be my argument for that. All right. You know what sitcom I want to see? Emperor Palpatine and Jar Jar Binks trapped in a desert together, having to survive in this most desolate of planets. And, you know, is Palpatine just going to end up killing Jar Jar? Are they going to become best friends? Who knows? And I kind of want to see where it's going to go.
You know, go ahead, Jacob.
Nice.
You know why the desert would be such a good place for Vader to just purge his thoughts? Because he hates sand. It's rough, it's coarse, it's irritating, and it gets everywhere. And he'd be vulnerable. He'd be like, God damn all this sand. Fuck it. I'm just going to share my soul.
I think you're going for the family heart to heart angle. I'm going for the funnies. I want to see Palpatine doing his best to survive while Jar Jar fucks everything up.
All right. Can I add one thing to the Palpatine thing that I was going to add if I would have fought for it?
All right, fine. Yeah, sure.
All right. Just I love the idea of Palpatine trying to run his little podcast or whatever the hell he does for his podcast, and Jar Jar Binks just fucking it up, like Palpatine just being like, "This is Emperor Palpatine coming to you for the Dark Side podcast. I'm back, bitches." And then Jar Jar just like, "Ooh, Misa Palpatine."
And
Right.
Oh god.
That
Dark
fits into
Side podcast.
that fits into my sitcom thing.
Okay.
All right, okay, Jacob, where are you leaning on this one?
I'm leaning towards the funnies.
Sandy, are you leaning towards the funnies, or are you leaning towards the father-daughter of it all?
No, the funnies. Absolutely.
You know what? Let's give the point to the funnies.
All right.
All right, Mickey Fan's in the game. 2 points versus the 4. He's still on his toes, but he's still breathing. Let's see. Let's make sure we get it in there too. Okay, let me get in like the other toughie, if you will, the toughest of the toughies of the toughies. All right,
Tougher than the toughies.
tougher than the tough. Thank you. Yes. All right. Okay, so for the fight night of it all, who wins in a fight? That's the question here. So what I want you two to do is I want each of you to pick a Disney character, as in like no MCU characters, no Star Wars characters. You gotta go like a Disney character. Pixar will be
No,
allowed as
Pixar.
well, but
Okay.
Pixar will count. Basically, you need to take two.
And is this a physical fight?
I'm
or is
getting
it
to
a-
that. I'm about to
Okay,
say
sorry,
that.
Sorry.
Okay, so you're gonna each
Just
pick.
what are the parameters of Magic Dragon? I need to know that.
Okay, well let me get to it. All right. So each gonna pick a Disney character and or Disney Pixar character, anything, just so long as it's not a superhero from the MCU or the Star Wars character, and argue why they'd win against the other. I mean, again, whatever they have at their disposal, they have at their disposal.
All right. Oh, God.
That reminds me of the KO game I once.
I know that's the idea. Yeah.
Are the Incredibles on the table?
Are they in a Pixar film?
Yes.
Do they
But they're
count?
superheroes.
Yeah,
but not
that's what I'm
MCU
saying.
superheroes though.
All right, then fuck it. I'm gonna go Mr. Incredible. That's the obvious answer.
Right.
I feel like I'd be screwed if I didn't pick Mr. Incredible.
Rapunzel.
Ooh.
Okay.
See, I view this whole thing as like Smash Brothers movesets, and Rapunzel would have a really interesting Smash Brothers moveset.
This is going to be interesting. Okay. Remember, guys, I want you to argue strategy on this one. Okay, like who will I want you to stick to the do what you're gonna do. We'll see who comes out of this one. It's an experimental thing, trying to bring back a little bit of KO into the mix. We'll see what happens. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I will admit that was a really good one. That was a really good pick. Oh, God.
I mean, I know exactly how Rapunzel would win this, so.
Guys, I'm embarrassed. You're going to have to remind me who I picked.
No, come on.
What?
You picked Mr.
You
Incredible.
picked Jiminy Cricket?
Oh, Mr. Incredible, right.
The only one you offered. All right.
No, it's just I was going to pick someone else, but then I went with Mr. Incredible because I was afraid that Mickeyfan would pick Mr. Incredible. I was going to go with Sully. Sully was on my mind, but I went with Mr. Incredible. So, all right, it's all good. So, all right, Jacob, you ready?
Yep.
I mean, what is the argument here? Mr. Incredible literally has super strength. He's completely invulnerable. I mean, I don't want to get too graphic here, but he'd throw Rapunzel around like she was a rag doll. She wouldn't even have a chance. I mean, Mr. Incredible, just the bulkiness, the sheer size of him, and the fact that he literally cannot be physically penetrated. I mean, there is so I know Rapunzel has some magic, but you cannot just beat brute strength here.
Brings of brawn, Tiki. Brings of brawn. Rapunzel is insanely smart. She knows how to use her hair as a weapon. She has that frying pan for that melee aspect, but her primary weapon is going to be that hair. She's going to be jumping around, swinging around, and getting jumps on Mr. Incredible. And she's just gonna be out here, tying him up, making him punch himself, using that frying pan.
Yeah, I'm sure the frying, or go ahead, yeah, 15, all right. I'm sure the frying pan is going to be just a great help against Mr. Incredible, who's just completely invulnerable to bullets. Yeah, Mr. Incredible can't get shot, but a frying pan's going to stop him, sure. I mean, yeah, you can trap him, but it's just delaying the inevitable.
I think that trapping him is Rapunzel's MO. Like, she's going to tie him up, and she's going to start using him as a marionette to use his own strength against himself to knock himself out.
Okay.
This is
This
quite
is
an
an
interesting.
interesting one. Sandy.
You know what the correct answer is, Sandy.
Don't Don't pressure him. Don't bribe him.
God.
And I know who I'm leaning towards, but I'm not going to say anything yet.
I think Mr. Incredible, but I feel like it's kind of unfair because he is physically 1,000 times more powerful than she is.
I explained how she would.
A frying pan is not going to make a dent in Mr. Incredible.
Thank you.
I explained how she would win.
He would crush a frying pan like it was tinfoil. I'm gonna have to go with Mr. Incredible.
What about you, Jacob?
It's quite interesting. I mean, like, technically, you could have. The funny thing is, I've been watching this series. You could have used like the fact in that series her hair is pretty much indestructible. You could have used that.
Yeah,
I was
gonna
going
say,
off the
Mickey
movie.
Fan, well, there's a lot of magic you could have used. I believe she's got some sort of a healing factor to her too with the hair or something like that.
Yeah, she does. And
yeah,
and there's like the series reveals all kinds of other abilities that she can do. Like
I did use the prehensile hair.
But technically, in terms of strength of argument, I'm going to basically just for the sheer brains over brawn. I think I'm actually going to vote for Mickeyfan for this one, like using Mr. Incredible strength against him. I really appreciated that.
That was my entire thing.
We know. So that I was really rather impressed with the strategy. However, I want to say for the record that Tiki's frying pan comment was priceless. That was fantastic. So point goes to Mickeyfan, and I'll remind you guys again. You both have some points on the table here if you want to use a little trade function.
4-3.
Yeah, 4-3.
Come back.
Right.
He's getting there. Okay. All right. Here's one because actually, I believe this Sunday there.
I kind of want to bring back KO now.
Well, anyway. Okay, so moving on to a question that's a little bit relative to something's going to be happening this Sunday, actually, another Easter-tide affair. Inspired by the popularity of the show Tiger King, which is coming back for its 8th episode.
Oh,
this
God.
Week, which Muppet would make the
Wait. Tiger King's coming back for its 8th episode? What?
Yeah, it was so popular. They're giving I guess it's a Where Are They Now episode. So
oh, God. Oh, dear. This is new. Oh, fuck me, Tiger King. Oh,
I haven't watched this yet.
Okay, is the question going to be which Disney character should be cast as Joe Exotic? Please tell me that's the question.
No, it's not the question. If you interrupt, you know it wasn't the question.
I mean, I know what it involves, but I know what he just said.
That's a mess of a show. It really is.
Right. Okay, which Muppet would make the most compelling docuseries? For the most compelling docuseries, and you can't use Kermit the Frog.
Animal.
Miss Piggy.
Oh.
All right, Tiki's got Miss Piggy. Mickeyfan. He's got Animal.
Say what?
But you said Animal, right, Mickeyfan?
No,
I said Animal.
Crap. Sorry about that. Got my wires crossed on that one. Okay.
Tiki had Animal, Mickeyfan had Miss Piggy.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Okay.
I think it's fair to say that in the history of the Muppets, there's not been a character that's been through more trials and tribulations than Animal has. We've seen Animal go to rehab. We've seen him have a serious problem with addiction, be it drugs or be it, like a labeled metaphor for drugs. I really think that Animal's documentary would be a comeback story, would be basically just like the rise and fall and then come back again. It'd be kind of like a Dr. Teeth documentary, but with Animal as the big focus.
I think that Miss Piggy would be just an utterly fascinating documentary subject because she has had such a versatile career, and she's honestly come from nothing to being the star of the Muppets, excluding Kermit. You think the Muppets, first thing you think of is Kermit. The second one you think of is Piggy. And, what's it like being second banana? And what's it like to overcome that?
Okay, I'm going to lean into my microphone really loud here. So get ready. Miss Piggy's documentary would be a huge ego trip. Animals would be very sobering. It'd be like, oh my God, look at the trials and tribulations of felt, man. I never thought I'd. All right.
Yeah, but who doesn't love themselves a trashy documentary that's just completely made to make the subject look good? I mean, I think that as a Muppet production, that'd be perfect for Miss Piggy, but it'd also just be a really interesting insight to Miss Piggy.
I'm going to let the resident Muppet expert call this one. Sandy.
Animal. Because we already the ABC Muppet Show was already it wasn't exactly solely focused on Piggy, but she was kind of the big moving force behind that show, because it's all about, you know, her and her late night show.
Well, some of us haven't seen the ABC Muppet Show.
Okay, well, we all
water.
know what it's going to be, and like Tiki said, it's just going to be a big ego trip. We've already seen that many times, whether it be Miss Piggy's Hollywood or anything else. I think with Animal, there's some really untapped potential there.
I think Animals would be more like This Is Spinal Tap rather than an actual documentary.
I think regardless, it's still untapped potential, something we haven't seen before, so that's why I'm picking it.
Hey, well, with that, Tiki wins.
Do you guys want to vote, or?
Well, I left it in Sandy's hands, and by definition, that means...
Well, I wouldn't be opposed to you guys voting too.
Okay, all right, we'll vote for it then. Jacob, where are you leaning?
I guess, I'm trying to think here. I mean, I think they both made compelling arguments, but honestly, I think I might be leaning towards Mickeyfan, because he talked about like how it actually leans towards the Muppet, like how it actually fits the cohesion of the Muppets as a whole. So that's my vote.
Break the tie, Dragon. No pressure.
You know what? I gotta tell you, there's a lot of love for the Miss Piggy doc in the comments. I'm gonna lean towards that. I'm gonna go with Miss Piggy on this one.
You could have won, Tiki. You could have won, but
you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe I wanted to do the honorable thing and go to a 4-4 tie, Mickeyfan. Maybe I wanted to play this out to the end. Did you ever think about that?
Maybe. He's getting
Dragon,
psychological.
can we do the musicals, please?
Oh, the musical question earlier. All right.
Yeah.
All right, let me let's pull it up then. Oh yes, you mean okay? I got you now. Okay,
I mean, I'm
folks.
sorry. I don't want to demand it, Dragon. I mean, it's your call. I would
like to see it. This Is Spinal Tap featuring Dr. T.
In all fairness, Dragon, like I probably shouldn't be requesting the last question. That's probably like an unfair advantage. So why don't you go with another question?
All right, Jacob. Tell me. Let me ask you: should we go with an audience question that is not the one Tiki said, or should we go with something that's a little topical?
Like topical how?
I mean, topical too. Well, I mean, what's going on these days?
oh God.
Like, what are the other questions available for the chat?
All right, let's see. Who should voice a Willy Wonka type character in DuckTales? Obviously, there's kind of a DuckTales bias for Claude Coringa, but we love him for it. Let's see. There is. Sorry, I'm just looking at the rest of them here. Again, we have the what should the name of Huey, Dewey, and Louie's father be?
I mean, I don't think we should do another DuckTales question.
Yeah,
I had one already.
All right, yeah. Let's. Oh, here's one. What Disney cartoon should get their own movie?
Disney show should get their own movie?
Well, it says Disney cartoon, so I mean, I imagine Disney show.
Would you guys be down for that one?
I mean,
all right, let's just go with the topical question then.
All right, topical question it is. All right, so considering we're all a little homebound these days, what is the best Disney film to watch on a rainy day?
Best Disney film to watch on a rainy day.
The Emperor's New Groove.
And Tiki says Emperor's New Groove. Mickey fan.
For all the beans.
Oh.
Why'd you have to go and spill your beans, Jacob?
What?
The lighthouse.
Oh, right. That. Now I got it. Yeah.
Why'd you have to go and spill your beans?
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Sleeping Beauty.
Okay. It's an unconventional choice.
All right, Sleeping Beauty.
Okay. Claude, for the record, a Goofy movie would have been my choice, but I kind of infamously use a Goofy movie for everything, so I kind of wanted to be a little bit different.
You go down with an extremely goofy movie.
Oh God, no, I would not say extremely goofy movie. That movie has its moments.
It
but,
does. It really does have its moments.
But that's what they are. They're moments. Otherwise, it's not a great movie.
Good moments. Though.
Anyway,
Were it not
Okay.
for the knock on wood scene, I would hate it.
So Emperor's New Groove. All right. Emperor's New Groove is the most quotable, the funniest, the most meme-worthy, most memorable Disney animated movie ever. I mean, there's so many memes related to that movie that it's just watching it now, it's just like a giant laugh fest. It's just a trip down memory lane with how many in-jokes and dialogue. And I mean, it's such comfort food with Disney because I feel like practically the whole thing is one big quote. Oh, it's so good.
You know, when we have a rainy day here in South Carolina, I just want to chill out, relax, and watch something pretty while the raindrops hit the windows. And I think Sleeping Beauty is the perfect kind of movie for that. It is just a moving painting, and I think that that's just kind of exactly the kind of movie I want to watch on a rainy day, where everything is pretty and everything is calm and peaceful, and you have some awesome animation.
I mean, pun very much intended, but Sleeping Beauty puts me to sleep. I think it's one of the most boring Disney movies, and I think Bambi would have been a better, naturalistic answer. Emperor's New Groove is just the ultimate comfort food. It's the ultimate, kind of curl up with a hot blanket and a snack and watch it.
See, Sleeping Beauty is that movie for me. I love The Emperor's New Groove, but like I said, I want something really peaceful and calming while it's raining, and I just think that Sleeping Beauty is the perfect movie for that.
No, it's peaceful to the fight with Maleficent.
We didn't have time.
Fair enough.
Claude says he'd pick Emperor's New Groove out of these two words. Patrick Warburton. Yes, Claude.
Yeah.
That is immutable logic, but
Patrick Warburton to dub over Sleeping Beauty.
Nice work, pal.
All right, guys, what are we feeling on this one? This is for all the marbles. And by the way, Jacob, put us back to the main image and ditch the banner.
Yeah.
Sandy?
Oh, I pick Emperor's New Groove, personally.
Feel like the comments are also picking Emperor's New Groove for what it's worth.
As far as the strength of argument goes, I think Tiki actually laid more as to why it would work. I mean, he laid, I think, in terms of basically more variety, in terms of Sleeping Beauty, they say, oh, it's pretty and peaceful, but he actually gave it's quotable, memeable, and it's just comfort food, basically.
Yeah, I tell you, it's I was really initially impressed with what Mickeyfan was doing with Sleeping Beauty, and I was really leaning in towards the rainy day of it all, and it's relaxing. When Tiki said, puts me to sleep, I wish Mickeyfan leaned into that a little bit more. As in, yeah, well, yeah, that's the point though. It puts you to sleep. It's it's kind of perfect for a rainy day when you see it's and you'll lose nothing. They didn't quite get to that point though, in my opinion.
Uh-huh.
Tiki really leaned into the comfort food angle, which again, leaned into that. He kind of came collect with it at the start there. You can argue the finer points of Emperor's New Groove. It's super memorable. I think he was too meme heavy, though. I'm going to say that. He's got to stop leaning to all these memes. A meme is not a cure all.
Me.
But all that factored in, I think we're all leaning towards kind of the same thing here. I mean, Emperor's New Groove, kind of hard at the top, and again, especially if if we need kind of a laugh in dour times, Emperor's New Groove, which means Tiki, without a shadow of a doubt, gets the point, which means he gets 5 points, which means we're at the end. Which means
I'm going to Disneyland. Oh, wait.
Yeah, well, way to bum us all out, but true. That's right, folks. Tiki officially is kind of sworn in as the champ here. He gets the belt officially now.
All
so
right.
he's the champ.
Dragon, I will wear the belt well. I'm gonna be like Jesse Eisenberg in The Art of Self-Defense. I'm just gonna wear it around on my day-to-day, just day-to-day. I'm just gonna wear it for my job.
So you're gonna make kind of a more casual version of it. Is it going to inspire you creatively? As
oh, you bet your ass, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, he has a Spice in Disguise hotel to work on, doesn't he?
I legitimately do. That's not a joke.
Well, hopefully this will keep your great fire warm on those rainy nights.
All
right. So guys, how you feeling? You made it to the end. You guys beat the odds. You got there. You both turned in a heck of a fight. Really got down to the wire there. I mean,
I bow out gracefully.
Was it as terrifying as hyped up to be, or at least anywhere near that?
Yeah, it was. I got to admit, the questions were pretty intimidating, Dragon. You did a good job of that.
But I would have liked to see the switch up, but
yeah, maybe next time though. Maybe next time.
I got to admit, you have to sell me on what exactly is the benefit to giving someone a point.
You
get to screw them over.
Yeah,
but they could still gain a point though, and basically you'd be giving them an extra point. If you lose, that'd be
basically if you didn't screw them over good enough, then you basically give them a point. That's kind of the appeal.
Okay.
I mean, if you can pick the worst thing for them, that'll improve their merit as a fighter. Anyway, we're getting to the inside baseball of it all right now. The point being, folks, we're at the end of the Trials of the Hyperion. What a ride! And that'll do it for this April installment of Disney Debates.
All right. Have a good night, folks. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Unheard me right now, Walter. That's it. I'm not playing with you.